Hi everyone, Catherine here from Inky Fingered Cat, back with a Festive Friday. So for those that don't know, I do Festive Friday every Friday, obviously, on my Instagram and in my blog. I don't always record them as videos, but today I decided to stick the camera on whilst I was making. I really fancied using this stag stamp, and so that's what happened. Grabbed myself a scrap of crumb cake cardstock, clearly been ripped off from something else, and yeah, I stamped it up using archival ink. You'll have seen there I had to stamp it multiple times because my archival ink is very dry. But I used archival because I knew I wanted to add water in, because I decided I was going to watercolour. Again, that's just what I fancied doing. As you can see, I'm here wearing a fleecy top. I'm still in pyjamas, and that was what I woke up deciding to do. So I'm just mixing up random browns really. Not a huge amount of thought going into what I'm doing. I'm following some of the line art. These stamps are really old stamps that came with a magazine. Pretty sure it was Creative Stamping Magazine before they used to do them as a full A4. But apologies if I've got that wrong. And I'm literally just layering up the different colours of the paint onto the image, keeping it quite loose. I'm not so concerned about keeping in the lines, etc., especially because I am going to end up splattering and then probably going outside the lines on purpose. But it's just about adding some colour in what I think are relatively natural colours, and where the shade would be and where the darker elements might be on this stag. I mean, this is one of my favourite stamps. I just love him. I think he's so majestic. As you can see, I went and added in some quite bright splatters of the orangey red there, and then also some splatters of the yellow. And the reason being is I wanted to just make sure that it kept looking a little bit fun. I don't know what the best description of that is. I'm also adding in just that tiny bit of shimmer as well. Using that shimmer ink, I've watered it down a little bit, I'm splattering with it, and then I'm also just painting without cleaning my brush off. So some of the paints now are going to have a little bit of glitter, not in the paints themselves, but when I'm painting it on. And that is me done with my little stag. So I'm going to pop him to one side because he needs to dry, clean up, have a little bit of a tidy, and admire him. I'm then going to use my heat tool just to finish off the drying, just to make sure I don't smudge anything. Now I'm going to move on to my sentiment. So I'm using some scrap pieces of cardstock, and I'm just going to use sentiment from the stamp set. I could have gone and got a die cut sentiment, but I just fancied I love the font on this. Do you know what? I just love this particular stamp set. I think it's great. Right, I've gone and grabbed myself 2 scraps of paper. Now, the tartan paper is the Indigo Blu paper, and that's left over from making my daughter's Christmas card for last Christmas. And then the red is actually part of an envelope of a card I received from a friend. I just loved it. I thought the colours were really pretty, and so I ended up just using that. What a random thing to keep. It's not like I need any more Christmas paper at all. I so do not. I am very into doing something with the inside of the card at the moment. That is absolutely what I'm trying to do, is to make sure I do something with the inside of the card, not just the outside. So a little bit of faffing around there, deciding on where I was going to put my pieces of paper, but I've added the scraps of the papers, and then I am also going to add my little sentiment. So I stamped the sentiment twice so that I could add it to the inside as well as the outside. I've just got obsessed, rather than doing them all later on, that I try and do it as I go along. How long I'll get, enthusiastic about doing this for, I don't know. I mean, I've always put a panel inside coloured cardstock bases, so it's just an extension of that, really. So I've decided my stag is dry enough that I can cut him down. I've just edged both the sentiments, the one that I stuck on the inside, and the panel with the deer and the sentiment for the outside, with the archival ink, just to give a little bit of a frame to those pieces. And then I found myself a little scrap of ribbon, and that's going to be perfect for just adding a little tab of the ribbon coming through. I like it with this little yeah, I'm going to use the word tab. I can't think of a better word. Like a loop of the ribbon hanging off the edge. I really like that. Just adds a bit of texture. And then I'm going to adhere everything down reasonably flat, to be honest. I'm not going to add any dimension. There's already a couple of layers of papers and cardstocks. And because the watercolouring is quite special, I mean, it's not the most special thing in the world, but quite special, I'm just going to do that. I did decide, however, that I wanted just that little bit more of a border around. What I forgot to do was gut this cardstock, and I'm a bit annoyed now looking at this video as I'm doing the voiceover going, why didn't I gut that piece of cardstock? But for some reason I didn't. I just wanted just that extra layer of frame. To be honest, probably most people would never even notice it's there, but I know it's there, and it just adds that little extra element. And because I inked it up with the Mossy Meadow, it's just that slight variation from the card blank. Now, I decided I was going to use card candy because I remembered I'd got these sort of like bronzy, coppery coloured ones with dots, and I thought they went with the general theme. So I'm adding my glue dots, my dollops of glue, and then I'm going to use my little picky up tool in order to pick them up. And there's my card done. So quite a rusticy, natural looking card with all that fun tartan and the check behind it, and I really like it, and I loved making it, and I will never stop loving Christmas cards. I think this is it. This is me forever making Christmas cards, just having a lovely old time. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please do subscribe to see future videos. Also, my blog, obviously, every Friday there's a festive project. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.